Und wir sind live.
Oh, we are live? Okay, then. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Last is Enemy Badass. This is now another week. Remember, the week is a fiction. Work week doubly so. You can get rid of it if you really want to. This is social justice alchemy. I mean, right now, busily, you're going to be typing out the going live thing and then sharing into older places as well too. So don't behind
Joey, I
me.
gotta
Talk amongst
say, with
yourself.
you wearing that hat, I don't feel safe. I feel like the FBI is going to kill us all.
No, the FBI is only going to go after Joey and they plant the murder on her
Well,
as
I mean,
them
but
as
yeah, there might be some splash damage when they go after the brown person.
okay, Slither. Um,
Hey, it's not my fault I happen to be here. It's Joey's fault.
uh, this is Turtle Island, which is so bountiful with imaginary gold or something like that. It says as well
Well,
too,
it's not
or
like
just
they were really using the land. They just happened to be living here. It's not like they were farming. Some of them were farming. That actually the Supreme Court did, in fact, rule that if you're not farming, you're not actually using the land, and therefore white people can take it.
fuck the Supreme Court.
Or
Yep.
they're not using the land the way we whites think they should be using it. Therefore, we should
They
take
just
it.
happen to
Well,
live there,
when
but they're
they
not
said
inhabiting it.
farming, they meant monocropping,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
no, we weren't monocropping.
that's not good for the land.
I don't know the. I'm not a farmer,
Exactly.
so I don't know the difference. I know. I
Monocropping
know.
means you're only growing one crop on the land. The typical indigenous practice was, at least in the Southwest and Central America, the Three Sisters.
I know one of the things that the settlers did was they killed all the prairie grass, and that would hold the
Hmm.
soil.
And
That's
they
why they
tried
had
to extinguish the bison so that they could extinguish the natives.
Hmm.
yeah the Dust
Yep.
Bowl and all that shit happened.
Hmm. Yes, the great American pastime of genocide.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, wow, it's really weird to think that the U.S. was the hipsters of genocide.
Hmm.
Bunch of dudes with neck beards walking around talking about how they liked genocide before it was cool.
So it's
I never understood it.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't understand that people as well too. At least men, and white people especially is and cis people. Oh, by the way, June 1st, it is Pride Month. But I say Pride is canceled. It's all wrath.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also hurricane season, so
Oh yeah, yeah.
for Floridians like me, we have to deal with no FEMA. Like they want to gut FEMA.
So
Hmm.
you have to be.
Although,
So
although good news for me because I like storms, so just bring them all here.
mhm.
But a
Yes,
hurricane isn't a tornado. I mean, they both go spinny and boom boom, but
I like hurricanes better because it's a lot of water. A lot of
you could say
water.
that.
I mean, people have their preferences and have their tastes and stuff like that. Some people like tornadoes because we don't know how tornadoes form is kind of like a mystery and something like that. That's why meteorology is a part science
I'm
and part
pretty sure Neko
religion.
and Yamakan could tell you how tornadoes form.
Yeah, I was gonna wonder when are we gonna have when is she coming back?
Again, I have to
Whenever we
advise
invite her and have
her.
a question for her, or just
Yeah,
invite her.
exactly. Yeah, or just invite her as well too. I don't know. And it's just and I did not plan to have Necronomicon on, so I didn't extend the invite to her and so like that. And yeah,
I really like her.
yeah. The audience will really like her as well too.
She's a
No,
white girl who loves
Necronomicon's
tornadoes. Why wouldn't you have a crush on her? Like her.
to be fair, that Necronomicon is a trans femme, so sort of non-binary as well too, as well as
Okay.
not only a demon cat girl and an elf girl, as well as a mermaid as well too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like three halves. That's too many halves.
Hey, Siobhan.
Well,
Hey,
some
Siobhan.
people are
I'm trying to
plural.
cut this stupid thing and won't let me. There we go. There's
Mhm.
part of it. Hold on a second. Parece que pe mamá lo pito, chingo te pinche madre.
Is would you I don't know, would we like Metro to join as well too? It's not a Patreon show, so there's that. We'll do the
Why not?
Patreon show. Okay.
I mean, it's Pride Month. We might as well get another colonizer in here.
Okay, why not? Just for hell of it. I don't mind as well too, because I honestly have not been like prepared for like a not a regular show as well too. So like I have done no prep, and I'm behind on my like um wait a minute, did I just like do it in like the hold on. Did I send you? Oh my God, I sent you the Zoom link as the hold on, Metro. I'm going to like reply to that email and send you the Zoom link in the email form. I sent you the Zoom link in the like in the in the subject line of the email. So you
What's
could
up,
not.
Risa? What's
Okay,
up,
Boomer.
Risa?
Yeah, no, that was totally boomer of me as well too. Yes, I've never done that before. Just like here's a Zoom link in the subject line where you can't click it.
It's helpful, you know.
So, other than me messing up with technology somehow, despite the like me wearing R2D2 hat and me classically looking like the person that's like good with technology, how's everyone doing?
I had a
I'm
weird
good.
week.
I'll let John speak.
I mean, the weirdest thing was somebody paid me $100 via Cash App for a trip that he would have paid like $30 for just through Uber.
Okay.
I mean, he was leaving a nightclub. I think he was worried about like the cops coming in and busting it up or something. Because on the way out, he said they're probably going to stop you. And I was like, what?
So he
But-
was tipping extra?
he paid me $100 for a trip that was like 15 miles. I don't know.
Interesting.
But last night I got to experience firsthand, the fear of ice. Picked up a couple of guys at a nightclub, took them back to their truck, their semi that they had parked at a gas station on the other side of town. And when we get there, there's a handful of cop cars sitting there talking to a couple of guys, and they're like, "Ice, ice," and I was like, "No, no, es la policía, no es la migra." And nevertheless, I pulled way around and took them directly to their truck.
Good.
Yeah, we had an ice raid here in Tallahassee. I don't know
Not
if you guys
surprising.
heard.
And just
I know.
FYI, just because they're cops rather than ICE doesn't mean they're not ICE, because in a place like South Carolina or Texas, they're all deputized.
Yeah, and Florida. Florida did that.
It's Mithril and baby Mithril.
Grandbaby Mithril.
Babby.
Yes. The one with far too long hair at the front.
It's like
So
Zoe Deschanel.
a little, yeah. So look, how's everyone else doing? John, tell us about his week.
I am
Uh,
I'm doing good. I'm actually working on my cosplay for Infinity Con.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's so if I can show you guys right quick, I'm
Sure.
making these I'm making the shoulder
Sorry.
strap for my Wrath of Khan outfit.
Oh,
Hey.
Nice.
nice.
Those are appropriate colors.
Yeah, so I'm making that right now. So I've been doing that all morning and watching TNG.
Which episode are you on TNG?
Starship Mine. That's the Die Hard episode where like there's these terrorists on board the Enterprise. They try to like steal some like I guess the lithium and Picard has to stop them. Go ahead, John. Scream nerd. Go ahead.
No, I'm looking for my pride meme.
He was
Nerd.
busy, so that's why.
Speaking of pride,
Jenny Greenteeth Carissa is from my neck of the woods. She's a northern water spirit.
Nice.
she's a friend. She's a friend of mine. I hollered at and said, "Hey, we're on live." She has good art. She has good artwork to check out too.
And
Nice.
she eats children because that's just how the English roll.
Yeah.
She needs what?
Children.
She's
All forest fairy creatures in England eat children because random pointless terror is a staple of childhood.
No.
she's a
Well,
water
English
spirit
do
from the
that.
River Ribble, which is about 20 miles from me. And she doesn't specifically eat children, but she takes one soul every 7 years which was the way it was.
Donald Trump is available.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, she should take JD Vance because Trump is so stupid and demented and
Oh,
old.
God.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem. If JD Vance goes, Mike Johnson takes his place.
Yeah.
Or anybody that Trump picks.
Actually, no, she should take Marco Rubio. He's like the only competent person in the administration.
The whole bunch
Jesus, yeah.
How about the whole bunch of them? How about that?
How about take on?
Well, yeah, between them all, they only have one soul.
Very true. Very true.
Oh, but who has it right now, honestly?
Take Caroline. Take her.
When I was younger in the mid-late 80s, don't say it, John, don't say it. I know you do. Yeah, sure you.
No, ancient.
The joke in the biker community in the UK was that the Volvo drivers only had one brain and they passed it around between them, so that if you met the one who had the brain that week, you were incredibly lucky, because usually they'd try and wipe you out. I think now it applies more to Audis than Volvos, but
yeah.
Let's see.
So let's see, Joey, how you been?
I've actually been doing pretty good. I've been finished watching Dexter, and which is a really good series. And then now I'm watching Blacklist, which seems to be pretty good too.
Nice.
okay.
That's the one with Ultron.
Yes.
James Spader.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like when I was watching the Avengers 2, my dad is like, that voice is familiar. It was like, who is it? It's James Spader, Dad. Oh, okay, yeah. From Boston Legal and such. And also Stargate, the movie. And yes, John Brockman has to be able to allow the sharing to happen as well.
I know, that's why I'm aiming at that.
Yeah. Just in case John Brockman is not sending the messages, because sometimes John Brockman doesn't. Yes. Okay, there you go. Now you can share.
All participancies. Okay, cool.
I've been sent.
Where the fuck is it?
Sorry.
No,
I was going to say I've been sent on a couple of courses to help improve my chances of employment, and they're actually quite interesting, the ones I'm doing, because you get a certain
monkeys. You're still having trouble with jobs.
I know. You get a certain amount of autonomy to choose the ones that you want to go on, which is quite cool, rather than just being told to fucking go on that course, which is great. So
oh, come on, you piece of crap.
Mm-hmm.
I have to yell at my computer, otherwise she doesn't work properly.
Makes sense.
You are such
in the UK
a capitalist.
What?
Yelling at your worker to make it work.
Call me a capitalist? Them fighting words, bitch. I can't fight, but I will run at you full speed. And I tell you what, with my weight and that momentum, you're going down.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a line. It's like a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Southerner. I'm always good at dodging anything, including responsibility.
Shut up, Isaiah. You're right, but shut up. Okay. Where the fuck is it? Is it there? Okay, this is one that I made a while back.
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
I don't know.
There we go. Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
I want to break free.
I'm not gonna sing the rest of that because you don't want to hear my high pitched voice.
It's overly large. We need to shrink it.
David!
It's overly large for some reason.
No,
David!
it's
David!
David!
I've seen you for ages, mate.
Well, I think he was being held hostage by the ghosts in his church house.
Oh,
yeah, the basement as well too. Mm-hmm. But no, I think work as well too, Siobhan as well too. I like the a lot as well too. And again, it gets me to have a Queen song stuck in my head, which I don't mind.
Which one? I know a little bit about Queen.
The one that starts with "I want to break free." I think that's just the title of the song.
Y'all should go check out. I
It
love
is.
acapella. Y'all should go check out brain part, voice play.
Okay.
And pentatonics and home free. Those are the three powerhouses for the last decade in acapella. But voice play does Queen in 5 minutes and does a beautiful job of it.
Nice.
Okay,
I'm
unshare that wherever the heck it went to.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys Imagine Dragons had a huge Palestine flag at their concert?
Nice.
Okay. Nice.
Have they been
I mean,
cancelled?
they're way overplayed on the radio and television,
True.
but that's nice.
Yes. That's a good question. Like, throw because like there was like that like punk act in like the UK that just like the government. I forgot who they are because like I should know them
I can't
since they're
remember
like
kneecap or something. I can't
yeah,
remember.
something like that.
Kitty.
They're Northern Irish as well, which
Oh,
sort of
wow.
gives their support for Palestine an extra edge because
Mhm.
they were. I think they're probably a little bit too old to remember, a bit too young to remember the Irish War. I'm not calling it the Troubles because it was a fucking war. Let's be brutal about. Let's be honest.
Agreed.
But I think they were a bit too old, a bit too young to remember it properly. But yeah,
Tanks and their bombs in your head, in your head.
Yeah. The Cranberries.
yeah.
Zombie
R.I.P.
by
Dolores. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dolores
exactly.
was amazing.
Wasn't
Joe don't.
that was a song that just recently got redone, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
it was
think
redone
so.
by Bad Wolf in like 2018 as well too. A metal cover of it. Yeah.
As long
Bad
as y'all
Wolf.
don't
Is
bring
that
up-
a Doctor Who reference?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
As long as y'all don't bring up Bono and you too. You see what some bitch did? He had a picture of him flashing the peace sign, which whatever. Okay.
Mhm.
Bono can shove his fingers up his ass.
Mhm.
I used
But
to
flashing the peace sign while doing a side hug with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been fundamentalist Christians ever since they started, though. U2. They just didn't stuff it down people's throats quite so much.
Right.
The other song about it that I always recommend is by Gary Moore and Phil Lynott, and it's called "Out in the Fields." It's not. It's kind of specifically about the Troubles, but also not at the same time.
I like fuck me, dude.
It was about war and warfare generally, but it's an absolute fucking brilliant song, you know.
I just heard the that zombie song yesterday, and I was thinking about like what they were talking about, like reminded me of Palestine. So I just
Yep.
I just
Sinead and the Chieftains cover of Foggy Dew is probably the best that I've ever heard. I like the Clancy Brothers.
There was quite a big history in the early 80s of well, they used to call it just alternative music. It was the sort of alt rock of its time, I suppose.
It was
And there was a
post-punk.
really well, no, that because the stuff that followed punk was new wave, which is it all gets a bit convoluted around that time. But there was a lot of bands who were counted as in the alternative movement who did protest songs about Northern Ireland. It was really good.
I really
Oh, there goes my internet.
2 seconds, if that, in
Yeah.
in a row, in the commitments where they're looking for another band member, and like half the people are going, "Yeah, I like you too," and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The first question, what's your influences? Led Zeppelin?
Well,
Can
one
you
of my
play Freebird for us?
Oh my God,
one of my favorite Irish bands actually outsold you and actually held the record for quite a long time for the biggest selling Irish band song biggest selling Irish band song ever, and it outsold U2's. But they did the odd sort of semi-political thing, but they were just a bunch of silly boys really having fun singing songs about how they fancied girls in the holy Catholic schools and stuff, the Catholic boarding schools and stuff like this. It was it was entertaining. They were
So it was
very,
a bunch
very
of priests
entertaining.
singing.
Not quite, but yeah, definitely not.
I think
They
my
were called. If you want good, if you just want good, it's a good laugh Irish music. They're a band called the Saw Doctors, and I particularly recommend the first two albums as just out and out good fun.
I think my favorite British song was Western Girls.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Pet Shop Boys. Yep.
Um,
Another one that I like, you were talking about humor, is Rubber
Mhm.
Bandits
Yeah.
Mm.
with
Um,
Horse Outside, Leprechaun, Glue. Yeah,
mhm.
great
There,
writing too.
there was also a really big, and it was quite interesting because at the time, and a little bit later as well, there was a really big Scottish movement in bands that came out and were very, very successful.
Good.
And they were really, they were most of them sort of teetered on mainstream. A lot of them didn't quite make mainstream, but a lot, I mean, I suppose the biggest were Simple Minds, who came out of that movement. But
Was that are they the ones that sing "Don't You Forget
yes,
About"?
exactly.
Forget
Fucking
about
love
me.
that song.
And to my mind, they were the worst of the lot.
Mm.
There was Big Country, Aztec Camera.
Mhm.
Aztec Camera, absolutely fucking brilliant. Delamitri were really good. They were very politically based as well,
Mhm.
and a few others. Deacon Blue as well, who
There's
were
an Irish
also.
Canadian band that I did not know was Irish Canadian, and I'll tell you. Okay, so I didn't find out about them. I knew of them and their songs and stuff, but had no idea they were Irish Canadian until maybe
David
5
Scott.
years
They
ago.
simple. Sorry.
They were.
And
Yeah,
it's a
sorry.
huge it's very popular here. I live in a very rural area. Okay.
Mhm.
Our town is about 8,000 people, and it's the biggest town in like 7 counties. But
Yeah, makes sense to me
pretty
about
redneck
Wisconsin.
though. But it's called Wasn't That a Party?
Mm.
Okay. And it goes could have been the whiskey, might have been the gin,
Mhm.
3, 4 6 packs. I don't know, but look at the mess. I mean, my head's like football. I think
Mm.
I want to die. Anyway,
Yeah.
very popular here, and I, for some reason, I don't know why, I always thought it was an American band.
Mm.
They do country-ish in folk
Yeah.
music,
Mhm.
but they're
Yeah.
still together. They're still doing music.
Nice.
They're called
Oh,
Irish Rovers.
Irish Rowers. Okay, nice. Maybe I've heard of them. And like David Scott, I like what you said. Simple Minds was the name for the Tory party leadership.
Yep, they were. All
Are you sure
those.
that wasn't Trump's administration?
No, they're very simple minds.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the one I hate the most is Simply Red, and they were lefties as well. I absolutely despise
I
Simply
like
Red.
Simply Red. I have to disagree. I always love that song they
They've
made.
got nothing good about them.
I like Simple. I like that one song they made. And
He's sexy for my shirt. He's sexy for my car. So sexy.
Oh, by the way, I did look up at the UK punk band that displayed the Palestinian flag and didn't back down from that. It's like, fuck you all. You're trying to make us feel like the terrorists while there's a genocide going on. They're
Yeah.
called the murder capital, and they stand by the them holding up the Palestinian flag, so the murder capital as well too. And I did look up, yes, Imagine Dragon of news for Imagine Dragon. It's only the right wing media that is hysteria over the frontman of the Imagine Dragons kissing the Palestinian flag at million concerts as well too. So it's
But see, these are the same people that think that Born in the USA is a pro-USA song.
Yes.
and and Bruce Springsteen says, "You guys don't need know any media literacy, do you?"
No.
I don't even
Oh,
understand
don't
why.
forget they also want to cancel Miss Rachel.
Yes.
Right.
I didn't understand that being anti-Semitic was such a crime these days. I always just thought, I mean, anti-Semitism was never good, but I wish people cared more about racism
Here's the thing though. It's not anti-Semitism.
I know.
They don't give a flying shit about the Jews.
I know
No.
I know it's because of religion. They want the world.
No. They're using, well, at least the Trump administration is using, in my opinion, the Trump administration is what the hell are my files? Is using anti-Semitism as an excuse to cut off free speech, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
They don't give a flying shit about Jewish people.
They're conflating anti-Zionism, anti-Israel with being anti-Semitic as well too, as a tactic to like stamp down dissent.
Yep.
Well, this was the same reason that Jeremy Corbyn was sunk in the UK.
Yep.
You know, and this failure to recognize that there is a difference between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, of course,
Right.
you know, but it was very useful for getting rid of him.
Yeah.
And you know, they're trying the same. They're trying to do this with that the young man who's trying to be mayor of New York, aren't they? The guy who's got going up against Como.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, and screw Andrew Cuomo as well too, because
Also,
like
screw Eric Adams. Fuck him.
oh yes, Eric Adams, one of the most corrupt politicians that there is.
Yeah.
And then did you? I'm sure you saw the perp walk with Luigi, and then Eric Adams walking behind him like he had something to do with it, or he was some
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It reminded me of like it was like some movie or something. Like some
fucking asshole.
Yeah.
It's glory hunting, isn't it? That sort of thing.
Yeah, the right wingers that support Israel and Israel itself, matter of fact, can kiss my big Irish ass.
Yeah.
I was a kosher Orthodox Sephardic Jew for the better part of a decade.
They kiss my.
There are a lot of Jews who don't like Israel's government. Here's my problem: is that a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you know, it's Jews, so it's the Jewish government." Okay, so does everybody in America agree with Trump?
No.
Same thing. Same exact thing. Because so and so is in power.
Yeah.
All real Americans agree with Trump. The rest are traitors. They're a bunch of jerks. They're jerks.
I got another word for him too, but
but like our friend.
Also, I wanted to say I'm happy for Eric Adams to associate himself as much as possible with the arrest of Luigi Mangione.
Yeah.
I want him to be tarred and feathered alongside everyone else Luigi gets to kill.
I'm gonna be honest.
Here's the thing. Here's the biggest thing, and I'm not saying he didn't do it, but here's the biggest thing. There's a possibility that he didn't. Here's the biggest thing for me, is that the cop who found the gun in his backpack, took the backpack from him. All right. Between that point and the police station, there was like 10 minutes. Her camera was off, nothing. Okay. And then suddenly she's in the police station and she finds the gun in the backpack. Any decent defense lawyer could rip that to shreds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say every time I hear the word, like every time I hear his name, Luigi Mangione, I want to say it in the most like stereotypically Italian way possible, like
Mangione.
It's a Luigi Mangione.
Zoran Mandami.
And I get some gnocchi with a side of Mangione.
And I'm obviously very proud of my Irish heritage, but my grandmother's name, mi nonna era della Donatella Maria Luisa Spello. Is my grandmother.
Very Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Very German. Nice German name there.
I guess
you can just hear the potatoes.
She was half Sicilian and half like Armenian and whatever else.
Oh, okay. So
did you know there were a lot of Spaniards? Did you know there were a lot of people on the south coast and the west coast of Ireland with Spanish antecedents due to the Armada getting wrecked on the Irish coast?
Right.
Yeah, they washed up. The first thing they did, they started fucking Spaniards.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
Spaniards and Irish. Hey.
David Niles, an Irish comedian who could die in hell. Fuck him. But prior to my finding out how bad he was, and I'll explain that in a second because it's Pride Month, also Wrath Month, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree.
He made a long series of jokes, which are funny, about how, when people say, everybody's Irish, like Reagan said, on St. Patrick's Day, Irish fucks everybody. The Irish have genetic components the world over. Then he made a quote unquote joke and the audience was like, "Ooh," and some of them liked it, some of them didn't. He made a quote unquote joke, dead naming and misgendering Caitlyn Jenner. No,
Yeah.
I am a fucking fighter.
Yeah. Like, Caitlyn Jenner is still like not a great person as well too, but we are
Oh, I
not
hate
going
her
to.
guts.
Yeah, we're not naming her. We're
If
against
she
dead
was on
naming.
fire
She's an
and I had a glass of
asshole,
water, I'd drink
but
it.
she is an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she was on fire and I had a glass of water, I'd drink it.
I wouldn't piss on her if she's on fire.
Right, that's what my dad used to say too. I'm going to get in my little dig of what happened to me because some stuff didn't happen to me, which was okay. I was scheduled for cataract surgery. Indigenous knows this. I was scheduled for cataract surgery day before yesterday, Friday. Okay, and I don't, I'm not phobic about surgery, but just for some reason, it's because it's on my eyes. All right, so for some reason, I a little bit anxious, okay, and had an anxiety attack on Thursday. That was fun. Got everything all done. Everything's cool. Calm down. The next day, I go to get my assessment to get set up for the surgery, whatever. And the surgeon comes in and they're looking, they dilated my eyes. I couldn't see shit, whatever, And the surgeon's like, "Well, you really don't need it." And I was like, "What?" And she said, "Well, she said I could go in there and do stuff, but she said, right now it's very minimal."
That's what he said.
God. Be right back.
Right now it's very minimal, and
That's what she said.
John.
well, I'm trying not to do small penis jokes because I have a tendency to do that, and it's body shaming, and I don't want to do that. So anyway, she said that she could do it, and it wouldn't necessarily harm me, but it wouldn't help really. Okay, at this point, so I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I don't have to do surgery." And in July, I get the assessment because I know I have to do that surgery, and then at whatever point thereafter, they cut open and cut the shit out of my elbow. Yay! So, other than that, my week went pretty good though. Indigenous and I get to hang out a lot, which is cool. They're pretty good people. Pride, yay! I am doing the I've got the picture somewhere. I'm not worried about sharing it, but it's I've been doing the blonde for what, Joe? I've been doing the blonde for about over a year now, right? Something like that, yeah. So no more blonde. For one thing, because it's easier. Keep doing roots or whatever. So I'm going back to my regular haircut color, which is like a little bit darker cinnamon brown.
Back to your roots.
Exactly. And then I can just let it go. I got to worry about it. I got to worry about keeping up the roots or whatever. Bleaching my hair, getting rough on it, whatever.
Oh, Siobhan, did you see the thing about the Pride in the UK banning all the Labour Party members?
Yes, I thought that was.
MPs.
Oh my God! It could not have been coming because I was kind of down. It could not have come at a better moment for me. I'm just flipping through Facebook and YouTube and whatever, blur like I always do, running around on the internet because retired. And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I started reading it. I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so awesome!"
Yeah.
Now if they could just
kill them all.
It's a pity you can't weaponize mold. Some houses need like an aggressive form of mold to go after their owners.
Yeah.
It's the UK. It rains all the time. Give it time.
I'm pretty sure it's terrible propaganda and stuff, but I've been watching. Oh damn it! Hold on, 1 second.
Baby is going like all over the place as well too. Well, it's about to say something that'd be like quick as well too. I don't know. Oh wait, Petro's back.
Yeah, I've been watching a thing called Designated Survivor, which basically the whole starting point is the entire American government is wiped out from top to bottom. Now,
I saw that.
I'm erect.
That's what we need in the UK, please.
Well, I mean, I would love to have the best version of that. The problem is it would never be. And and a lot of people over here and also online elsewhere. And I don't completely disagree with them. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, we should just burn it all down and start over, wipe it all out and start over," right? And that's cool, except that millions of disabled people are going to die because of that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We need to have a system where
well, I don't know about
we can replace the bullshit
Mhm.
and still keep the infrastructure.
We need to.
That
I
may
think
not
what
be
we need
possible. I don't know.
we
Mhm.
need to chip away,
Right.
chip away rather than one enormous strike. I think
You're
is
not
the-
allowed to
Yeah.
just
Mm.
appropriate Native American culture like that.
What?
Chip away.
Oh God's sake! Oh no! Oh,
It's
oh no!
Ojibwe
Hey,
and Anishinaabe.
I'm British. We've appropriated all sorts of cultures. Fuck you.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
Talk to the Indians.
the first time I saw it, I was like, what? And I'm looking through, there's 197 countries in the world now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donald Trump says 200, but whatever.
Give
Anyway,
or
so
take a few
197
dozen
countries
or
in the
100.
world. And England has not colonized 20 of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Only 20
That
countries.
sounds about.
Let's
That
see.
sounds about right. Yeah.
England
fucking
has
grimy
actually
bastard.
colonized France a few times, so I believe it.
Yep. Oh yeah, but the French also colonized England. So
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, that's
it-
true.
it-
William
give
the
and take.
Conqueror.
Tit for tat, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, England and France have been 6-9ing the colonizing thing.
In one of my novels, it's called The Clockwork Raven, which I'm working on. I actually wrote 4 pages in it yesterday.
Clockwork
Nice.
Orange.
No, Clockwork
Clockwork
Raven.
Raven.
The Clockwork Orange is something totally
But,
different.
yeah, it's a completely different novel. Anyway, in the Clockwork, say Clockwork Orange. Raven,
Nearly.
it's an alternative Earth steampunk because I love steampunk.
Mm. We
Steampunk's
got a
awesome.
steampunk festival
And,
on at the moment.
In that novel, when the English decided that they were going to take over Wales, Ireland and Scotland, knowing that they were going to be next, okay,
Went.
and it's better to hang together than hang separately, as
Mhm.
Benjamin Franklin said, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
All jumped in on Wales' side and beat the fuck out of the English, and didn't destroy the English, but beat them back to their own borders or whatever, and formed a treaty. Okay, and so in my story, it's called the Isle Alliance. So now each alliance member kind of has sort of the relationship prior to Trump of Canada, where we usually get along pretty well. Okay, and the bad guys are the Romans, because in my novel, also because I'm God in my universe, Jesus never existed. And if Jesus never existed, the Roman Empire was not taken over by Christianity. And so it has spread. So the Romans are the bad guys. The main bad guy is Gaius Marius Britannicus. He's the ambassador to Rome. He's an assassin. He's an asshole, like real major asshole. My bad guys are not, I don't want to say that they're one-dimensional, but one of the bad guys in one of my horror novel that I'm also working on, like, one of the bad guys is a child assaulter. I don't want to go into great detail, but you know what I mean. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Who does that to his victims, and he's also a serial killer, so he does it at the same time. And he gets his, believe me, he gets his. I like it when my readers want to stand up and fucking cheer. He definitely gets
So
his.
could you make him sort of tall and British and have long, black, curly hair? And he was married to a musician who pretended to be a feminist.
How about
Neil Gaiman? Could you make him
not
Neil
so
Gaiman?
tall? How about not so tall, although he lies about it, and quite ample, and has this stance of leaning forward so that people don't see his belly,
He has small hands.
and has 5 babies by 3 baby mamas. We could do that.
So does Owen Glendower survive in your book?
Does what?
Does Owen Glendower
No.
survive?
No. I
Is
have
that
to,
some sort of random
like,
Welshman?
I have another one where
No,
it's-
he was a Welsh prince who fought against the English.
right.
Okay.
I have another one, steampunk series called Steam and Style, and that's set in steampunk Amsterdam. But again, it's the same thing. Like the American Rebellion failed. Washington and Franklin were caught and hung. The rest of them either went into prison or exile.
Mhm.
Kind of cool.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but Christianity did not cause the downfall of the Roman Empire. That was just
Neither did the gays.
No, what? No, definitely not.
No,
No, it was just that's how empires do.
The Visigoths.
They rise,
The
they
Visigoths.
fall, shit happens, and
Oh, yeah.
then it was exacerbated by climate change. Isaiah, you have your hand
Yeah.
up. You're very polite.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Mithril, so how is the American Revolution taught in England? What's the
It's
English
Traitors say.
no, it's taught as a thing that happened. The
Mm-hmm.
Americans were successful. We made some fairly stupid mistakes in negotiating with them, which we did. And that's pretty much it. You know, it's seen, I think in some ways it's taught as don't forget, it's a very long time, Isaiah, since I went to
Yeah.
school.
Oh, okay.
But it's seen
These days, since
largely, I
Brexit,
think.
it's taught as we should have
Yeah.
followed them.
Well, yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Talking of empires falling, did you? I mean, I know it's not a great programming thing. Did you see Peterson getting his ass kicked in the Jubilee 20 atheists
No,
against?
but
Oh,
I did
God,
see.
it was funny.
I saw like commentary about it.
Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely brilliant. He lost his snot with them completely. He had no idea how to answer them back.
I did see. Was it Ben Shapiro got fucking destroyed by a train
Yeah.
using the
And-
same tactics, the fire hose and the gish
Yep.
gallop and the whatever.
Yep.
And he kept starting saying like, well, you're not letting me talk. He goes, because that's what you do. And
Yeah.
then went on and on and on and just destroyed him.
I call him
And I love the last part where he stands up and he goes to shake his hand. Ben reaches his hand out and pulls it away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the other one was Mr. Tiny Face. What the hell's he called? The weird one.
Charlie Cook.
Charlie Kirk got destroyed at the Cambridge Debating Union as well.
Yes.
Got absolutely ripped to shreds.
It's the only time he's ever been shredded.
Well, yeah.
Do y'all
And it
remember
was-
Banana Man?
Yeah.
Ray Comfort.
For those who may not, Banana Man was Ray Comfort, who said that one proof that God existed was that the banana was shaped to fit the human hand.
God, I
We
remember.
watched that video on Social Justice Alchemy when my New Zealand friend, Groundhog, joined the call. And so we asked, and so John Bruckman asked Groundhog, "Can you apologize for Ray Comfort?" So we watched it together, including everything. It's like, hey, for easy for you to hold. It's just like
So then
Oh,
Kirk
God.
Cameron, who I call Banana Boy, went to some college campus, I don't know where it was, without Ray Comfort, like he was going to be Billy Badass, and got fucking destroyed. Like, way destroyed. I don't think he ever did
And
anything.
I've
after
since learned that
So,
when you really look at the evidence, the truth is it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to believe in God. You've really got to ignore the facts. It's funny how we equate the word atheism with intellectual. It's the exact opposite.
That's the Banana Man video.
It takes more faith to believe in God than
Banana Man.
It takes any faith to believe in God. You just have to say no to the easiest question in the universe to not believe in God.
To edit or to paraphrase the original song, ring, 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 banana.
Banana phone.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding, Banana Man.
The Banana Man, the most one. It's like, okay, Banana Man, what are your superpowers? That's like I wanted like Superman.
can
I
fillet
wanted
a
like
banana.
Batman. I get Banana Man. What are you going to constantly like get bad guys who like slip up bananas? Jeez.
I've got a solid gold 5 horsepower outboard engine on my boat.
You guys want to still talk about our topic briefly?
Oh yeah. I was like,
Oh
I wanted
yeah,
to, like,
you're still you've decided on your weapon of choice.
Yes, it's a modest 9 mm. It's nothing too powerful that I can't handle. I have friends of mine that say that things aren't going to get as bad,
They're wrong.
so I shouldn't get a gun. But see, part of me wants to like think, yeah, but what if you're wrong though? Because I have this like feeling that brown people are being hunted. Whether it's ICE stuff, whether it's the stuff going on in Gaza, like if this new like chapter of white supremacy is just kill them all,
Oh,
I
no, they
I
don't want to kill you. They want to re-enslave you.
well, it doesn't matter. It's just I need to like I need to be prepared for what's going on, for what's coming.
There's nothing wrong with being prepared. I'm not a Pollyanna, but I've addressed this on my show before. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. I just want to caution people to be aware of pushback
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
otherwise it can lead people to just give up.
Yeah.
Why should I bother? We're going to lose anyway, and that's a self-defeating attitude.
Mhm.
But again, also I'm not a Pollyanna. I'm not saying that it can't happen.
Right.
I have my own means of self-defense.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a I'm not a doomsday prepper or anything like that,
Right.
but like I just thought like this is like the first time I decided to buy a gun. I didn't even buy a gun when Trump was president the last time. So clearly something has happened where it's made me want to get one and
Right. There's nothing wrong with being prepared.
so
And also, Trump is the regime. Let's be clear: it's not an administration; it's an illegal regime. They are deliberately destroying everything they can. They're causing chaos. They are wreaking havoc. Part of it is just Trump being stupid as fuck, but they are deliberately doing everything they can to dismantle the state so that they can be a one-party fascist government.
I mean
Well,
like
I think actually that's a side effect of a lot of people that are in the lower echelon. I think what it is, to be honest, I think what it is that a lot of people just want to pull as much money out as possible, which is why they're cutting here and they're cutting there, whatever. Because then when it comes, which will be what next month, when the tax cuts fall off and Trump reinstates them, he can say, "Oh well, we can reinstate them because we saved all this money." Blah blah blah. I don't think the bigger echelon people, the not just the Elon Musk and the Bill Gates and whoever, because billionaires are billionaires, fuck them. But even the 100 millionaires or whatever, okay, don't care who's in office. They absolutely don't care. And if somebody
they'll own whoever's in there.
Well, and if it's somebody who's in office, let's say they vote in 2026 and a lot of the Republicans get booted out, which I think is going to happen. And then they vote in 2028 and all the jerks in the GOP just have no fucking possibility of winning whatsoever. They're not going to care. They may lose like 2 or 3%, whatever, but like I told somebody, I said, Elon Musk should be taxed for 95% of his complete total wealth. Just take it away as an example. Okay, just take all that away. And they're like, well, he's gonna be broke. Really? He's worth over $300 billion. He's gonna be broke. That means he would have at the bare minimum $15 billion left. Oh no, what's he gonna do?
No.
Go to a food bank?
But I mean, the fact is, Trump and Elon are extracting all the wealth as quickly as they can. But Project 2025 is the fascist initiative,
Right.
and so not I wouldn't call them the lower level. I'd call them the B level. The people that we don't normally see are busy. The Marco Rubio and JD Vance, they are busy trying to just make sure that we don't get an election in 2026.
Or you have I was going to say bleach blonde, bad butch body, but this isn't quite Marjorie Taylor Greene. It isn't. I should say it isn't Marjorie Taylor Greene. But you got propaganda Barbie, Pam Bondi, saying directly that people who say something, I don't remember the exact words, but it was something along the lines of people who say "fuck Trump" would be prosecuted.
Yep.
Et cetera, that they're going to arrest judges. And here's my thing.
They've already arrested judges.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but here's my thing about it. With the Supreme Court, I mean, it's very small comfort. In fact, it's really no comfort at all. But I have Schadenfreude with John fucking Roberts, who led the court, who said, gave Trump pretty much immunity to do whatever he
Carte
wants.
blanche, yeah.
Okay. And then now they're like,
And-
oh no, the courts are in trouble. Well, no fucking shit.
Yeah.
You're the cause of it.
I kind of think we predicted that, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, John Roberts has spent the last 15 years trying desperately to maintain the illusion that the court will have some sort of respectability, while
Right.
at the same time making sure that the court will be fucking irrelevant.
I mean, do you think there will be elections in 28?
There will. I'm just not sure
will.
they will be allowed to matter.
I mean,
Right.
Russia.
See, here's the
I mean,
thing. Trump
Russia
can
and
say-
Poland, Russia and Hungary still have elections, but
Trump can do one or two things. Okay, he can say, let's say in 2026, let's go back even sooner. Okay, 2026, he can say, well, like they did for all the elections, since he started running. Okay, it's all fake. It's a fraud. There's election fraud. Blah blah blah. And a lot of his supporters will still eat that shit up.
Yep.
Okay. And so I'm going to suspend the elections until we fix it. Okay. Or go ahead and have the elections. But see, here's my thing, and I'm normally not a conspiracy theorist. Okay. With the exception of Lucy Lawless and Jason Momoa should be my future husband and wife in a poly. But anyway, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Okay.
That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just porn.
Yeah, that's just fantasy.
Self-insert fanfic.
Poly ain't just about sex. Poly ain't just about sex. Anyway,
Mhm.
but the thing is,
Well,
I
with Xena and Drogo,
fuck you,
that's
John. I
sex.
forgot where I was going.
Will the elections be allowed to happen?
Oh, so he can do that, okay. Or he can, just say, well, we can have the election, but here's my thing: 7 battleground states were, I think, 7 out of 10 that were left, okay, in the election, okay. Suddenly, they all had like a 1.4 or 1.3 or 1.8% margin where Trump won. Okay. And I'm here to tell you right now that there's no fucking way that Michigan went for Trump. Just no way. I'm not saying that it's a blue bastion here at all. Okay. There's a lot of blue areas. Okay. But I'm not necessarily saying it's a blue bastion. But I do not think that the election here, at least in Michigan, okay, was accurate. Wasn't accurate.
No.
I mean, they're trying desperately to get their election volunteers, and they know what they're doing when it comes to stocking the school boards. I wouldn't be at all surprised they're doing the same with the election boards and all that shit too.
Right. We'll see. I mean,
I suppose the other
basically, you shouldn't be buying a handgun, Isaiah. You should be buying drones.
As I understand,
Drones.
As I understand the American system, he could also declare a national state of emergency, is it, or something, which would
he could try. He could try. It would go to the courts. The courts would say no, and then he'd tell the courts to go fuck themselves. It would be an open coup, and it would mean rioting in the streets, and it would turn into chaos pretty quickly, I think.
Right. And that's like why, for example, they still, and by they, I don't mean people in the administration themselves, but other people. Charlie Kirk is one. Shapiro is one. Where they talk about how the Trump administration should pardon Derek Chauvin. Okay, first of all, they can only
that's a
pardon
state crime, so they can't.
Right. But not the state crimes. A lot of people don't realize that. But secondly, I follow a lot of Black content creators on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, whatever. And a lot of them are saying to their community not to freak out, not to protest, even if they did it, because then Trump will use that as an excuse.
He doesn't need an excuse. He'll do it anyway.
I understand.
They're already blackbagging people. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but fuck it, riot.
I don't know what's going on because, like I said,
peaceful protest so that it looks bad. But Still, get out there.
There was an ice raid. There was an ice raid, like literally a block from where I work at.
Right.
So people are afraid. That's one of the that's kind of why I decided to buy my first firearm, because I don't know what the end goal of this is going to be.
Again, my
This system is collapsing. I don't know. I just don't know what it's going to collapse into. And I'm just thinking that if people are becoming millionaires by calling people the N-word, there's an entire group of people being wiped out. Like if that's where it's going to, I need to be prepared to defend myself if possible.
I think you need to be
100%
prepared to
right, mate.
defend yourself even if it doesn't. Okay, to
Mhm.
be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't think, there are isolated incidents like that bitch.
Mhm.
However, there's also a push. I know there's a GoFundMe and there's another thing too added into it, where people are trying to do the same thing basically for Carmelo. They don't have that exact amount of money yet. I don't know what they have. I know it's in the 6-digit number, but I don't know what it is. But my concern isn't really the that kind of crap. My concern is that it's gonna, if it goes into open with martial law and et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
You could have Kyle Rittenhouse and that kid from your neck of the woods running around with AK-47s. Wait, Kyle Rittenhouse was your... I'm thinking...
Right.
Anyway, they're going to be running around going all Charlie Bronson.
Oh yeah, Death Wish.
But they're going to find out something. Okay. They're going to find out that not all liberals are the limp-wristed, sweatpants wearing, man bun wearing, latte drinking, tofu.
They're going to meet the Black
people
Panthers.
that they think they are.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna meet me.
Well, that's the John Brockman brought up the Black Panthers, but that's like another thing I want to also just remind you that if you can try to find even in Florida as well too, there might be like a local the John Brown Gun Club as well too, or Socialist Rifles Association,
Pink Pistols or something like that.
Maybe Red Dead Revolts,
feminist gun clubs basically.
Another one.
Mm-hmm. But like
redneck revolutionaries.
Yeah, Red Revolt. Because
I just have to stop like calling rednecks as a slur, because that is a class.
Oh, it's a classist slur talking about how they get sunburned because they're working outside. But
they're labor
I thought it was
still,
striking.
So you saw my Facebook yesterday, then.
I thought the rednecks thing.
That's exactly what I was talking about. See, here's the thing. Okay, I agree with you in part. Okay, redneck is definitely a slur. It's been a slur for that type of thing for decades. I mean, and nowhere near the end that level. But where you look at Hollywood, you look at TV. You got the Beverly Hillbillies. Anytime you hear a deep Southern accent or a redneck accent, which aren't the same thing. But I proudly proclaim myself to be a Michigan Irish redneck. But not all
redneck. I thought the redneck thing derived from some striking miners who wore them red bandanas.
It did. Working people, et cetera, et cetera. Not all rednecks are the same. And like I made the comment about the weapons and the self-defense. And I'm not saying I'm Billy Badass, but as an example, I typify a lot of my friends here, my local friends, in that I started hunting when I was 6. Got my first deer when I was 8. I've killed animal with a gun, knife, bare hand, trap, bow, crossbow, and rifle, and shotgun.
I'll be honest, I would love to if someone invites me to go hunting, I would love to get a bow and a crossbow and use that as well too. I only fire a bow and arrow in like a summer camp of like Cub Scouts as well too, where I also shot BB guns. Shooting at targets is not the same as like shooting at like animals though, of course.
My brother told me. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Isaiah was going to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I don't think I could hunt, because I don't think I could just shoot a deer like that. I don't think like if I had to survive, yes, but just going like just shooting one just in the wild, I'm like I can't.
Yeah, my
That's
brother
fair.
It
told
should
me a
hurt to
story about a
hunt.
friend of his. He
Yeah,
was
that's a fair
in
point.
a deer blind. He was hunting. He fell asleep. He woke up, saw a big old buck right under his blind. He pulled out his knife. He dropped down on the buck. The dude survived.
Hmm.
What are you about to say? What are you about to say?
A deer
You
will
don't fuck with a
you.
wild animal. You can't kill a deer with a knife.
A deer will fuck you up. That's
Bambi
150
Bambi
pound
gonna
under
buck you up. Yep.
meals.
Not only that, but
Bambi will buck you up. There we go. Bambi will buck you up.
a manatee. You don't fuck with manatees.
Oh no, they only look like they're sleepy. They're
Um,
big motherfuckers.
You know, there are
Yeah.
people up here that hunt bear with a bow.
Hmm.
But
I
when they
believe it,
hunt
but
bear
they better
with
be
a
ready
bow-
to run.
Yeah, well, when they hunt bear with a bow, most of them, at least a couple of my friends anyway, always take 44s along with.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because
a
if
bear
if
gonna
you
hunt
don't
you
hit
back.
that bow right, if you don't hit that bow right, a bear can run 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Bear can climb a tree. Bear can swim.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do with your little kinky arrow? I got a picture I want to share,
Hit it in
John.
the lung, you gonna die.
Yeah, the Mythro's trying to say something. Mythro.
I'm going to ask if, specifically, Joey, are there similar movements to like Black Panthers and all the rest of it within Native American
Look at the hat.
First
Oh,
Nations?
yeah. Absolutely. Most of my cousins are now arming themselves or have been arming themselves for quite some time. We know better than to give up our guns at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, too right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how many of them just are normally like hunters and fishermen anyway? I would expect
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
depending on if they're on the res.
Right.
most of my family are well, you have to remember that hunting should hurt.
Hmm.
It should hurt you
Yeah.
as much as it's
Yes,
hurting this other animal.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
You should have a heart
Mhm.
when you're going out there to hunt. And it should feel bad to hunt.
Mhm.
That's the
I-
proper
yeah.
respect for the animal.
I've
You're
never
taking a
trophy
life.
hunted, and I detest trophy hunters with a
Oh, yeah.
passion.
Right,
You're
Right.
taking a life, aren't you?
exactly.
Hey, John, I want to share a picture.
Go ahead.
Where's things burning? It says send request.
You have to. Oh, multiple. Oh,
You're sharing.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot.
You're
about
still
that.
sharing.
Okay. Oh. I guess, yes, whatever. Where are you, you wee bastard? Wait, what?
Good eating on a
Hold on
whale,
a
said
second.
David.
Hold on a
Just
second.
stop share.
Just
but
have to-
okay.
Just ask Robert Kennedy
Oh.
Jr.
Where the hell are you? But, oh, okay. I see what I did wrong. Anyway,
Hmm?
go back to where the hell is, you know what? I'm about ready to throw the computer out the window.
Mhm.
I wouldn't actually, because this thing is like worth over $1,000 what I paid for it. Where the hell is my Zoom? All right, Isaiah, what'd you do with my Zoom?
No, blame
way
me.
to use the black guy.
You know? What the hell? Go ahead and yak. I'm trying to find my damn Zoom.
Yak, Zach, don't talk
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
I watched The Terminator last night. It holds up.
Fuck you.
Which one? The first
The first one, the good one.
I love the first one. It's like a mixture of like a horror movie and a science fiction movie.
Yes.
It's just a
Science
horror.
fiction
movie.
horror.
That's what it was intended for. It's James Cameron had a nightmare and he turned it into a movie.
Hmm. I mean, like a lot of films that that have like some elements of sci-fi will get like that kind of distinction, even if it's not hard sci-fi or direct sci-fi as well too. You
Alien
can have
was a horror
sci-fi
movie.
horror. Oh yeah, Alien is great.
Hey, Mithra, have you ever seen Threads?
God, yes, I have.
Yeah,
That's
it's
something.
it's I've seen it maybe twice in my entire life. I can't watch it. It's so
No.
it's so yeah.
It's
A
intense.
apocalyptic war drama television film directed and produced by Mick Jagger.
Ooh, nice. Nice crossbow set.
That's nice.
Yeah. It is
It-
that one I got on Amazon. I have another one that's almost exactly the same. When I went to get the second one, this one was out of stock. Just about exactly the same. That and a lot of people think, oh, that's cute. Okay, well, it's cute. Don't get me wrong. I bought it because it's cute. Sometimes I think weapons are cute.
Girls got to
Yeah.
accessorize.
Mhm.
Right. And rednecks are allowed to think weapons are cute. But also
Nice,
it's not a
David.
toy that's got an 80-pound pull and a really good FPS. Okay,
Mm.
if I'm within 20 yards and I hit it in the right spot, I can take down a deer with it, especially with broadhead.
I
Mhm.
feel your definition of cute needs a little working on myself, but there you
Oh,
go.
look at that! It's all swoopy.
I agree.
Sloopy, hang on.
Yes, I agree, David Scott. Aliens is all about like how good it would be if private corporations run society.
Oh, David.
Snoopy, hang on.
Libertarians.
Oh.
My dad got me into all the cool classic music from back then.
I guess my dad did give me my taste for like Queen because he is a big fan of Queen.
I found a cassette of Johnny Cash in a shoebox in my
Nice.
closet in my parents' place.
Okay, do you remember like rewinding the cassette tape with a pencil to get it in
Yes.
there? And
Oh,
No,
God,
you'd
yes.
use a pen. God.
Use a pen.
And
Or the eraser into the pencil.
right, you can try a pencil, but it's going.
Yeah, okay, so better than a pen. But yeah, I remember doing that. We had the cassette tape of like we got from Pizza Hut of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out of their shell. It's like it's not Christian rock, but it sounds just exactly like it, honestly.
Oh,
But I mean, coming out, they could be queer. You don't know.
Yes, it could be. Why not?
If it was a garbage truck, it'd probably be more appropriate to be Christian rock.
my dad, when he was training to be a vicar, he went through a fairly short stage, thankfully, of hanging about with a group who sold their lead singer, their leader as a songwriter in the a Christian sort of Pete Seeger type. He really wasn't. He was fucking dreadful. The music he tried to make was so wet. It made the tsunami look like
That
a
is a
dry
description.
ice, you know?
Yeah, that's a good description.
It was.
So does
So it was the
anybody
Graham
know
Linehan
what
of music.
does anybody know what ska
Oh.
music is?
I've
Yeah,
heard
I know.
the word.
Okay.
I'm British, of course I know about
Right,
ska.
I figured you did. Yeah, I figured you did. Okay, so
I didn't hear what you said.
there's a group called Sunseed, SONSEED. Okay, and their claim to fame is a song/video called "Jesus Is a Friend of Mine."
Oh,
Okay.
I know that one.
It's funny enough watching that. However, somebody redid it
Oh no.
and changed it around, so it's Satan is a friend of mine, and it's absolutely hilarious. Y'all should check it out. It's absolutely hilarious.
It was very depressing with me dad. So I got him listening to Meatloaf and stuff like that. And Meatloaf was not a great person. I
Agree.
know that.
Yeah, he turned out to be
But
an asshole.
I got him listening to more interesting
I
stuff.
mean, wait, well,
Right,
your
right.
nickname is Meatloaf.
Instead of just top 40, whatever.
Oh God, it was awful. I mean, we both loved folk music, me and my dad, and a lot of our family are into folk. So I've still got the T-shirt from when he and me went to the Billy Bragg concert in 2006, and Billy Bragg's pretty cool. He did a lot of work with the Woody Guthrie estate and brought a lot of his previously unpublished songs out. So I kept pushing him to listen to more and more of the interesting, shall we say, the radical folk, because he's always been a commie. He was always a commie, my dad. So he was
There's
a He was a communist, a scientist, and a priest.
Good thing.
So
I'm glad Margaret
he was
Thatcher.
pretty
Margaret
chilled.
Thatcher didn't get you, so that's good.
There's a speaking of Guthrie's, one of my favorites. It has a gay slur in it, and the original one he redid it. And he changed
Alice's
it.
Restaurant.
Yes, Alice's Restaurant. Other than that, I know almost the entire song by heart.
Yeah, I can I can do that too. I mean, the thing is, I mean, the slur, yeah, appropriate for the time, but
And
definitely
I'm
appropriate
rewriting
for
a
the subject
version of
matter.
it too. And you know, I was told a friend of mine I was rewriting the song, and they're like, "That's an awful long song." No, you don't understand. I used to hang out in this forum. I still have friends on my Facebook that I met in the forum, so to speak, met in the forum 20 years ago.
It does, doesn't it, David?
And a day ago. And what is with my
Camera's gone off. Shit.
what in the world?
But
Weird. Anyway, so I had a bunch of friends in this forum, and I decided to rewrite a song, and so I rewrote word for word American Pie to the forum. And it took me a little while, but I did it. I am a huge fan of rewriting. You know how many times I've rewritten the Flintstones theme to different politics and whatever? That's a great one. One of my friends said I was Weird Al's older sister.
You're doing Phil.
That was a compliment, as far as I was concerned.
I even got my dad listen. Well, David will know of them. A band called Nightwish, who I also managed to get my dad listening to towards the end of his life.
I like Nightwish.
Nightwish.
You ever listen to what is his name? Is it Dan Vask?
No,
I think. He normally does heavy metal, but he does heavy metal covers of, like, he did a heavy metal cover of Amazing Grace, et cetera. Excuse me.
He also banned My Way at funerals because he said he was so sick of bloody hearing My Way at every damn funeral he did the service to.
Now the end is near.
Well, except the end is not near, is it?
Right.
Because it's at a funeral. The end is gone, you fucking assholes.
I used to make fun of my mom for listening to the Rat Pack, because that's Dean Martin,
Davis,
Joey Bishop,
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah, Sammy Davis Jr., Jerry Lewis, etc. And now I like some of the Dean Martin stuff, and I like some of the Sammy Davis Jr. stuff, or whatever. You know, as I got older.
I always thought Crosby was a better singer than Sinatra myself.
Oh, I do too.
Sinatra is an absolute piece of shit as a human being as well.
Yep. So was Crosby.
He supported the civil rights movement, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and the rest of the Rat Pack insisted that they wouldn't play at any casino in Vegas that wouldn't let Sammy Davis play in the tables.
Yeah.
So they.
Sammy Davis Jr. bailed my dad out of jail once.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Oh no, that's cool.
Yeah, they were it was during the American Indian movement's height. And my dad and a bunch of like 3 or 4 other Indian guys were all taking a load of like food and clothing items and blankets and stuff like that to the reservation from Los Angeles. And when they crossed the border from LA, from Los Angeles area into Las Vegas area, the FBI came and arrested them, stopped the truck and arrested them, and searched the truck thinking that they were also taking arms in for the American Indian movement. And Sammy Davis Jr. bailed them all out and then invited them to dinner that night at his place, and basically told them, you know, that he knew what they were trying to do, and that the FBI didn't find anything anyways, and that he didn't appreciate colonizers doing stuff like that to Native Americans. And so he he had a few things to say over dinner, and they basically had a lot of fun with him too, because they just talked about all kinds of different stuff.
Right.
Nice.
Well, you and I had a conversation about your connection with Leonard Peltier.
Who finally was released from prison in prison, is now just on house arrest, I believe.
I was going to ask Joey if he had anyone that participated in the Alcatraz strike.
Yeah, the American Indian movement has been trying to actually get that island back, because the island itself was a sacred island to the people who live there in the bay, that are indigenous to the Bay Area. And they used to go out there and do ceremonies and stuff, and then Alcatraz got built, and so that had to stop. And now Alcatraz is fallen apart, and so the American Indian movement has been going back out there to do ceremonies again with the local indigenous population.
Do you think
so they're pushing to try to get it back?
Trump wants.
Do you think this is one of the reasons Trump wants to reinstate it as a prison? Then, because
absolutely, that guy absolutely hates Native Americans.
Also, he saw Escape from Alcatraz on PBS the night before he tweeted that shit.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, because speaking of when Isaiah and I were talking earlier, speaking of the fact that you shouldn't. There are plenty of reasons to be concerned, plenty of reasons to harm yourself, plenty of reasons to be able to defend yourself, but also you gotta look behind the surface. For example, a lot of people freaked out, and still to some extent freaked out. Oh my God, Trump has cut PBS funding and NPR funding, and who was it? Netflix.
Right.
Normally I say they can fuck off. But I'm sure they probably did this just as a PR stunt, but they picked up Sesame Street, okay? And they're still going to show it on PBS, okay? They'll simulcast with PBS, okay? But here's my thing, okay? Trump, the government cut NPR funding and the government cut PBS funding, okay? Well, PBS only gets 15% of its funding from the government. That's it. And NPR gets 1%.
Yep.
That's it. So my thing is, they're using these types of things as distraction techniques.
Yes.
So that you don't go, because remember when they were getting ready to start the various hearings for the drunk for Secretary of Defense, the lying piece of shit for Secretary of State, et cetera. Okay, so they're getting ready to do the cabinet. What the fuck is the word? Not reviews. Nominations. Okay. And suddenly, we're going to annex Canada. We're going to annex Mexico. We're going to take over Panama. We're going to take Greenland.
Gulf of America. No.
Yeah, all that fucking week. And what did the mainstream media do? The liberal media. What did they do?
Yeah.
Sucked ass right along with it.
Yep.
Yes, they did. Because our media, either that or our media is run by Zionists.
It's just for-profit. It's corporate bullshit.
No, see, I really don't like the phrase "media is run by Zionists" because it's way too close to anti-Semitism.
True.
I do think, however, the media is run by the wealthy and the elite, whether Jewish or not. Okay.
Yes.
And I think that America has historically, and I mean going back to Reagan, as historically, they don't give a fuck about the Jews at all. Okay.
The Jews were a model minority in the 19th century. That's the only time they've ever been okay.
What they care about is the death cultists, Christians, who need Israel to be around, according to their Bible, to bring about Armageddon.
And also, that's not even in the Bible either, from what I've heard.
It's in Revelation.
No, it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible.
It's in Revelations.
Revelation.
I mean, I find it incredibly presumptuous of them that they think they will be the ones who are taken up as well. I would suggest that looking at their behavior, they probably, if there is such a thing, I know, John, you can slap me around for this one because I will give it a certain amount of leeway.
But
If there is a rapture,
Mm.
which is an 1850 thing or whatever,
right, right.
these are not the people who are going to be taken up. These are not the people who are going to go to whatever
Revelation
they
talks about
believe
those who
heaven
are fooled
is.
by the Antichrist.
Pretty sure Odin's going to kill them in Ragnarok, but
Right.
But these people do not behave, to my mind, and from my own experience of.
have they given away all their wealth?
people-
No, they're not following
people-
Jesus.
People within the Church of England, they do not behave in such a way that I don't think they could be called Christian by any.
Have
by
they cutting
any-
off an Italian
I
CRT?
agree
No.
with you. I agree with you looking from the outside in, but I remember looking from the inside out. I was a cultist for 30 years.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
see, I
Flat
was
out,
never.
100% believing, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll tell you right now that as far as they're concerned, they are the true ones, the chosen
no.
ones.
Absolutely agree with you.
Yeah,
mate.
but that's
I
what every
completely
freaking
agree.
believer says. They're
Yeah,
always
of
the real
course.
ones, and it's
Yeah,
everybody
of
else
course.
who aren't.
No, but
Yeah.
No.
What I hate-
You're not a true
every-
Scotsman.
no,
And
What I hate more is when the moderates, quote unquote moderates, will say, well, they're just picking the bad parts of the Bible, or they just hate this, or they're, and I tell them, especially like, for example, because of Pride Month, I tell them, when they're with their anti-queer, anti-trans, et cetera, et cetera. They say, oh, well, we're different, and Jesus is love, and blah 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 blah. And first of all, you really need to read your Bible, because he's not. But secondly, you're using the same book.
Mhm. Great big book of multiple
Why?
You
choice.
can't tell me that this person isn't a Christian without that true Scotsman. You can't tell me this person is not a true Christian, because you're using the same book. You're using the same verses.
well, books are all. Every single book is open to interpretation. My dad used to say about the homosexual thing that God doesn't care where you put your dick as long as you love people.
Mhm.
Which is
I will
basically,
I will say for everyone who
in his cruder moments, he used to say things like that.
I
What's
will,
that,
I
Isaiah?
will
Except your
no, I
dad
was
was wrong according to the Old Testament.
What's that, Isaiah?
Yeah.
No. I was gonna say that everyone, like all these people who likes to say God hates gay people, but yet they always make God the most like sexiest thing out there.
No, they make Satan the sexiest thing out there. Have you seen the statues?
This is a problem.
Right,
yeah,
right.
now there's a problem. But my dad,
Satan is trans.
he was.
Mhm.
My dad was,
Hits in
I
a dick.
suppose,
Satan is trans.
fairly liberal about things. And there is a separation in the Church of England. There are pretty much two groups with it. I'm talking from the English Protestant tradition here, not the American, which is another thing entirely, which is full
Right.
of batshit crazy lunatics, to be quite honest. And
Your
my-
mom's a lunatic.
there is a separate. It's not a pure schism, but there is ground there that they agree on. But there are what they call the high church and the low church, and the high church,
But when
They get high.
they are no, sadly no.
The
They are
low church are
very-
the ones smoking joints.
They are, yeah, they are close to Catholics in lots of belief. In the old school Catholic, they like lots of frilly bits on their dresses. They're very, they
priests can be like that.
There's an old stereotype in British comedies from the up to about
The high church
the
is not the
80s
country vicar.
of-
They're the Lord's guys.
well, yeah, of priests being rather effeminate, very posh upper class type people,
Right.
and that is the high church. The low church tend to be people who will turn up to a service in jeans and a black shirt and dog collar, obviously, who will go out and work with homeless charities, who will go out and really get their hands dirty as well, you know.
Like
That's
the best parts
sort
of Vicar
group
of
my
Dibley.
Yes, absolutely. Oh,
So the
in
high
that,
church,
Dawn
they
French.
molest children with their pinkies out.
Yes. And most of that stuff comes from the from the high part of the high Anglicans rather than low
Oh,
Anglicans.
That's a mithril kid, not Babby.
Yeah, that's Myth's daughter. Yes, I will have a cup of tea. And yeah, they've never there's never been a schism between the two. There's no schismatic, but they do have some very, very fundamental disagreements, like the thing about bringing women into the priesthood was absolute civil war, you know, at one point between the high and low churches. It was incredible. I think the best way to describe it is low church are fans of liberation theology. Yeah, that sort of Christianity where you gather the poor and you help them, you know, you do your best. You view those people as the people who need the help.
So they're the
The high
humanitarian cherry pickers.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are. Yeah.
They're still cherry picking.
The high church.
They pick
The high
cherries to feed the
church.
poor. That's okay.
Yeah. The high church wants to spend all its time in the corridors of power kissing the ring, so to
Yep.
speak. You know, yeah, and not that ring, no.
It's like in a lot of ways it is like the American Protestant movement when the evangelicals took over.
Yeah. Well, they're fundamentalists rather than evangelicals. I mean, my dad used to say he was an evangelical because he believed in spreading the word of God. Yeah. That is the definition of what an evangelical does. Fundamentalists are the dangerous people, the ones who
Well, in you know, like I said, you know, I was in the cult.
literal.
I was in the cult as an adult for 25
Yeah,
years.
yeah, sure.
In American theology, especially Pentecostal / Protestant theology, your duty is to go out and proselytize to people.
Oh yeah, it's the Great Commission.
You know, it's almost like they, you know, in competition, like, oh, I brought 7 souls to Jesus today, you know, that type of, because it's the arrogance. But that's one of the lures for almost any religion you can name is the arrogance. We're the chosen ones, because it isn't just the Jews.
Yeah.
The same with conspiracy theories. You're the insider. You're special.
Yeah, we're the saved. We're the rapture. We're the there's a specific word I can't remember, but the 144,000 for the Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay.
Everyone likes to be the main character of their own story.
Right.
And at the same time, being an annoying dickbag means that you will only be able to socialize with people in the in-group so that you won't be exposed to ideas from the outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
I think the thing about the Anglican Church in the UK is, you know, which is Protestantism, I know, is the difference between evangelicals and fundamentalists is the evangelicals look at the Bible and go, okay, it's open to interpretation. Whereas the fundamentalists do, there is no interpretation. This is it. And this is where, you know, you get the young earth creationists from the
we were writing dinosaurs.
Oh God! You know.
I mean,
yes,
the thing
David,
is,
it is what the Dark Souls.
I mean, the evangelicals, the fundamentalists, they all kind of say, well, it's.
They all kind of what?
No, I'm just trying to parse my thoughts. I mean, they all think that they have the correct interpretation. The problem is that evangelical has a pretty radically different meaning here in the U.S. than in the UK, I think.
Oh yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, if we had a national, because from what I see, again, from the outside, but from what my English friends tell me and Irish friends and whatever, and what I see, um, the English church is the state religion, but it's like whatever, you know.
Mhm.
For the most
It
part, we
is.
don't care. They might give lip service to it, but that's about it.
Yeah.
That's not that way in America. If there were if like Pentecostalism came fully to power, and that's where a lot of Project 2025 comes from. But if Pentecostalism came fully into power, we would have the Handmaid's Tale here,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
That's
Um,
that's
yeah,
scary.
I agree. And Eli said this before about the same with Denmark. The reason we don't have these problems with churches in Europe is largely that they are state churches rather than state religions, whereas the US is free
Free
for
market
all.
competition.
Yeah, freedom for all. You got the Westboro Baptist as well too.
Yeah.
There's like businesses here in this country.
Oh yeah, the mega churches with like the televangelism as well too. It's like I need to have like pay two private jets in cash to show my devotion to
Joe
Jesus.
Austin and Creflo Dollar and
Yeah.
I need 50
I
billion.
wonder if the U.S. would be better if we
Kenneth
started
Copeland.
taxing the churches again.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
when Oral Roberts
We
had his
should
little
be taxing the
fancy
churches.
sermon where he said that if he didn't get, I was like $8 million or something like that, God was going to take him home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Like,
unfortunately,
we don't
they
want
get
him
them the
anymore.
money.
I know, right? Good
That
riddance.
ain't religion. That's blackmail.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Recently,
But, like-
a black pastor told the ushers to shut the doors and said, "We're not leaving until we get $20,000."
Right. I remember that.
They didn't
I'd have
lock
walked
the
the fuck out.
doors,
I'd have walked the
which
fuck
is
out.
the only reason he wasn't accused of entrapment or going to prison and stuff.
Blackmail.
But I mean,
Right.
this is like extreme blackmail, saying everybody, I don't care how much you gave, give more. People at home, give more. We're not opening the doors until we got that money.
Come on, eat me.
What was the
weekend,
name of that one pastor here in the United States who said that he couldn't fly on
Creflo Dollar or
commercial
no?
airlines
Ken-
because it was full
yeah.
of demons?
Ken Hope
Yeah.
is it
No,
something?
no, it was the guy who blew away COVID.
I don't remember that dude's name.
Kenneth Copeland?
Copeland. I think it was Copeland.
Copeland, there it
Kenneth
is.
Copeland, yeah. Joe Austin, who I want to do things to that I, will probably get dinged. This video would get dinged for, so I won't say it. But
Oh,
Yeah,
we've
a
already
bit
been
late to
dinged.
that.
We pre-dinged.
Joe Austin, won infamously during I don't if it was
Katrina?
a hurricane.
Yeah, Hurricane Harvey, I believe.
Yeah.
Harvey.
Refused initially to open the doors of his church to people, refugees from the storm. The other was, I remember reading about a robbery that they had. Okay.
They found like
So they took the
$20,000 in the
collections
wall
up,
or something.
and it was I want to say it was like $750,000. Okay, that they got robbed. Now this was one weekend's take. This was not from online sales. This was not digital in any way, shape, or form. This was just money they took physically in the church over that weekend. It wasn't just that day, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they got, $750,000.
Fucking second.
Yeah.
But, but he also teaches that prosperity gospel where, if you do what God says, then God
Give
will
the
reward you.
seed and God will repay you.
Right.
The crook.
And I agree, David. Like this is why
Nice
crypto
work.
and AI
If you
work
can
so.
get it. You can get it
this-
if you try.
This is why crypto and AI works so well in the U.S. context. It is basically a cult movements, and also the Church of Apple is the literal temple as well too.
Yeah.
But we're actually
We are a little over time. Yeah.
Just a wee bit.
So before we leave, I just wanted to say I got both my shoulder strap finish and my armband finish.
Nice.
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 So
Come on!
You'll definitely, Isaiah, You'll
Yes.
definitely have to get all that done, okay, which would be cool. Send me some pictures. But when you are done with it, okay, get me a picture that's, in focus, et cetera, a good picture, okay, of you standing in all your regalia up
Okay.
against a blank wall if you can. And I'll GIMP that for you and do something like I did with the Star Trek picture.
Right. I'll see what I can do.
Okay, cool. Speaking of which, last thing, what's your favorite science fiction series and why? Briefly. So I will start. It's not that I don't like Star Wars. It's not that I don't like Star Trek. Although, shoot me in the comments, but I like Star Trek a little more than Star Wars.
That's fair.
However, none of them compare in my mind to Babylon 5. Babylon 5
Okay, no,
is
that's a good
science
one.
fiction for adults. Okay,
Yep,
next.
yep. You know what? Okay, it is like Star Wars, but like if not for one I say is a favorite that's not Star Wars, is anime Ghost in the Shell. Because like ignore the 2017 live action movie that doesn't count. That's not part of it. I haven't seen the recent CGI one that like was like on Netflix some time ago, but the two movies or three movies actually the standalone complex like series both seasons of it, the OVAs Arise as well too, and there was like another Ghost in the Shell movie that was like for the Arise. It was like the new movie or the animated movie as well too, because they knew that the live action was coming out the next year. So Ghost in the Shell, good sign, good cyberpunk as well too. Next.
Cool.
I'm gonna go with Star Wars.
Okay.
I'm basic.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm not really a sci-fi buff, but I'm not. I prefer fantasy. But I'll go with Mass Effect.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a good one. That's very good.
And Doctor Who, of course.
Well, of course.
You have
I
to.
mean, yeah.
They
If
take
you
away
like
your
science
teeth.
fiction-
What about Dan?
If you like science fiction, you need to like Doctor Who. It's in the bylaws.
What about
Yeah,
What about Dan Dare?
Oh,
Don't know that one.
Lord.
Joe McClory asked like shows or in movies. I think like Shaban's like question is just like sci-fi franchises more too.
Yeah.
Anything, movie.
Come on, Joey. I want to know.
I
Joey.
am more of a fantasy fan as well. But if I had to pick on the sci-fi, it's definitely Star Wars.
Okay, yep.
I like Star Trek because I can just go to different places and
Really, you like Star Trek? I wouldn't have said.
Yeah, we would never guess. Here's what you need to do, Isaiah.
My search on.
Isaiah, here's what you need to do. I saw this on a meme. I would fucking love it if I would send you money if you did this. Okay. You need to find a fantasy convention.
Yes.
A Renaissance fair or whatever. Okay?
Yes.
Dress up in your Star Trek shit. Okay.
And you're in a way
And
team.
then go around there and act like you're Star Trek and you've teleported down to a planet, that's in that time frame and whatever, and act.
Hell yeah.
Have somebody take video of you doing that or whatever. It would be absolutely awesome.
Make sure you're a
Great.
blue shirt.
Yeah, not a red shirt. No red shirt. No red shirt.
I'll see if any Ren fair
Oh.
happening, and I could probably do that for you.
Oh, Kane. Yeah, I mean, I was brought up watching John Pertwee,
Yes,
Doctor
yes.
Who. That was
Yeah.
my era.
Classic
so,
Who is
you know,
garbage.
it's slightly different.
Yeah,
Fuck
there's
you.
some good episodes
you.
of Classic Who.
Fuck you.
Tom Baker, John Pertwee, and Pete Davidson are my the doctors.
Of course, Baker.
Oh.
Eccleston.
No, Sylvester McCoy is my favorite.
Right.
Oh,
Eccleston
okay.
took a little.
Is he the
time
one
for
who
me to
drove
get-
around like James Bond? Old guy, curly
I
white hair?
didn't care for Matt Smith.
No.
I love David Tennant. I didn't care for Matt Smith at first, but then he grew on me.
Yeah.
And I haven't
Well, the
seen.
problem with Matt
I need to
Smith
get him. I
was
haven't seen any of the Whitaker
Moffat.
ones.
Yeah, Matt Smith was Moffat as well too. That's the big problem. It's like the Moffat was the showrunner.
I'm a
for Matt
heretic. I
Smith.
didn't care much. I didn't care much for Capaldi's Doctor either.
Like
Mhm.
also
That's
Moffat.
Yeah.
Mm.
The best sci-fi series, the Cthulhu Mephisto. I see what you did there, David. I see what you did there.
Best sci-fi series is Cthulhu. What? Where did I miss Cthulhu?
It's in the
that
chat.
was David. Best sci-fi series, The Cthulhu Mythos. He's trolling because he's David, but he's not wrong.
I could also add Twilight.
Cthulhu Patagon.
Do you remember Traveller? I meant Traveller.
Yes.
John might know Traveller. Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Which was it was an RPG thing put out by I can't remember the company.
I actually played Traveller.
Yeah, I played it for a while, for a few years.
Yeah, I played it for some time.
I've been playing D&D since '79, but
My
favorite though, I love D&D. Don't get me wrong, I have nostalgia for it, but my absolute favorite is GURPS.
Oh yeah,
GURPS is
it's a more flexible system.
You can play anything in the world with GURPS.
Yeah. I still want to start my Mass Effect podcast role-playing game.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
That
speaking
would
of,
be fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah, speaking of,
if you're interested, if anybody wants to do that online, now I know I've got Indigenous and somebody else who wants to do it, but they're not always like able to do it or whatever. But if we could figure out another time, because I don't want to take from SJA, but if we could figure out another time, I have a Discord and we can use Roll20 and play damn near any game you want.
The only difficulty I have is figuring out how to match the leveling so it feels like Mass Effect when you level up and you get the powers and their advances.
Yeah.
Well,
at least Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 1 was kind of basic when it came to power advancement.
It was
not right now, but you and I can have a conversation about that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Later tonight or tomorrow, whatever, whenever you got some free time.
Tonight or tomorrow, after you do your stream this afternoon.
Yeah.
Shiv, do you remember Paranoia? The RPG.
I've heard of that one too.
No, I don't. Just because doesn't mean everybody.
That was a horror TP.
Well,
TV, right?
it was a dystopian sci-fi one, and its tagline was "The computer is not your friend."
There you go. My favorite, regardless of dice or mechanics or whatever, my favorite was, other than D&D, because GURPS is, like I said, is just like a generic thing, was Vampire the Masquerade. I love that game.
Oh, and you somehow turned out queer.
Magica.
And I somehow what?
You somehow turned out queer.
What is the problem? That's like I saw the last thing. Okay, because then I'm going to give my little spiel and go. But I saw this meme where it says, if you get 10 trans people and put them in a room, around a table, whatever, put them in a room, okay, and because you got femboys and transbians and whatever, okay, put down in the comments, this was somebody made this meme, put down in the comments how long it takes before the orgy starts.
Depends on how much food there is.
Well, I can put anything in my mouth besides food. Anyway, I'm gonna head out, and I have.
Just remember somebody on Facebook, Matt Dillahunty, his ex-wife, was trying to start an orgy and complained that people wouldn't leave the buffet.
Yeah, Matt, I have some words from Matt Dillahunty, and they're not complimentary. Believe me, that's something.
I'm pretty sure there's
another one where, because I could talk for hours about that, and I still have the receipts, asshole. Anyway, so go by the Irish Mouthpiece on Blue Sky. I have my channel, which was the Angry Ranch, but now it's the Irish Mouthpiece. The last couple of weeks with potential surgeries and whatever has been kind of fucked up. So I'm getting back into the thing of that. So that will be on Sundays, usually after SJA. And I'm going to try, what it is, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is my Discord. I have a movie Discord called the Baby Goat Hangout and Movie Emporium, where just to go watch movies. And so tonight I'm starting with I always do a cartoon first, just like when you watched him in the drive-in theater, for those old enough to remember Giant Theaters, but
I do.
it's the first 4 episodes because they're only half hour long.
Okay.
Of the BBC's Walking with Dinosaurs.
Ooh, nice.
I love dinosaurs. So
doesn't love
I'm going to be
dinosaurs?
doing that tonight, and then
Oh
like the
wait,
next
evangelicals.
2 or 3 more weeks, because I have the entire thing: Walking with Dinosaurs, Walking with Beasts, Walking with Cavemen, Walking with Monsters. So the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to keep doing that whole thing. I belong to a trans group called Trans Dinos. I don't remember the other half of the name, but if you look that up, if you're trans or an ally, and you look that up, you'll see that, and it's all about trans people, obviously, but about our love for dinosaurs. And Kylosaurus is the best. T-Rex can suck my ass.
I was a member of a Facebook group called Let's see, it's Trans Girls and Dinosaurs.
It's called Trans Dinos, or Trans Dino Lovers, Trans Dinos, or some crap like that. Whatever. Anyway, if you put trans and dino into it, it'll more than likely
Trans
pop up.
Dinos / Trans Dino Lovers.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, I think it's pretty close. But anyway, so I'm going to be doing my Discord tonight. That is the I'm not going to find the link right now because it's going to take too much because I'm getting ready to go. That is the Baby Goat, all one word, Baby Goat, Hangout and Movie Emporium. And, you hit me up on Facebook or whatever, and I can give you the link for that. I don't, and we don't discuss politics, we don't discuss social issues. It's, I try to make it a stress-free area to just go and watch a movie and have fun. And that's it.
Have you done what was it?
Rocky
the bad
Horror
movie
Picture
I watched recently.
That doesn't really narrow it down. There's a lot of bad movies.
The one I watched recently about the octopus.
I know you reminded me of it. I've got a bookmark somewhere.
Tales of Rocktopusy.
So maybe I'll do after I get done with the dino stuff, we'll just start doing like trashy movies, B movies. What we could do is sort of like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yep.
Where you're not only
clowns from
welcome,
outer
you're not
space.
only allowed, but you were encouraged to talk over the movie and make comments. So I'm gonna head out. Thank you for letting me be here. I appreciate that. Batman.
Bye-bye. Yeah, and we should all be going because we're now 20 minutes over.
Yes. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the plugs. Not gonna pitch it over to people except for John Brockman at the end as well too, because everyone just keeps on talking, not realizing we're ending the fucking show. So Isaiah,
we got a Midwesterner in here. We got a Midwestern goodbye. What do you want?
Yeah, exactly. Isaiah Taylor has Instagram. It's there. All the other links from Maeve Chabon is also in there, including she forgot to mention her Existential Cafe comic as well too. Over on Blue Sky as well too. And I'm Summer Geek on YouTube, Twitch, Blue Sky, Mastodon. I'm reopening that account as well too. Tumblr, Threads as well too. Instagram and Twitch and YouTube as well too. I'm going to stream some Fortnite and other stuff when I get off the call. And thankfully my friends Nasnaka and Len Quinn do not need emergency money right now. They got this $600 in need to replace NASA's computer because NASA's computer is dying. So that's good, but they still need the money because NASA has been missing her SSI for the second month in a row, so they still got a food and bills to pay for as well too. So
and I'm going to watch Good Will Hunting in a bit.
Oh, that's good for movie as well too.
And imagine Will and his best friend, played by Ben Affleck, having sex all the time.
Why not? It's Pride Month after all. Pride is canceled. It's Wrath Month. And John Brumpin, you're part of another podcast on our
Dungeons and Debacles, but we will not be recording again tonight because our DM it's he has a job. What a fucking loser.
Good lord.
Capitalism sucks.
Yeah, capitalism is terrible.
All right, and I believe that will do it. So everybody, stay safe, hydrate, fight the power.
Links up page.
And remember,
Bye, everybody.
make sure your protests are peaceful so that when they kill you, it looks bad.
Yep.
Bye bye,
Be
everybody.
safe, everyone.
Bye bye.
Love you guys.